Let's go. Let's get it on, guys. We've loaded into the Halcyon Fold. So without further ado, let's hop right in here. And Shin Yi, Forecourt Jester, take it away.
Well, it has certainly been a heck of a day for a lot of these games, but man, coming into a blind pick, Shinji, I think you said something about European metas, right?
Scarf, Cruel, Finn kind of looks familiar to me. This could definitely be something that Team Secret would pull off in a blind pick.
And double scarfs in lane. Like, it's going to be Hardic versus T-Tigers, and T-Tigers right out the bat saying, I'm the better little dragon. Get out of my lane. A little bit of damage as they suffer through it. But this is, again, going to be a double crystal. Like, Gabe Vizzle, if you recall, they did this already once. They did not have no weapon skies, but the Adagios have been very, very popular today.
Yeah, they stuck with the exact same composition that they have used in the first game, which that went very well for them. So hopefully they're just probably aiming to stick to the formula that they have known and that they have known works very well anyway.
Now look at this, already with that lane gank coming in. Von C and Lost Boytoff are up here. T-Tigers saying, I'm not dealing with any of that. He's just not going to be looking to go down to that bush anytime soon, or that shop. But at the same time, looks like Kroll actually gave up. He's not going to be back in town. Von C is going to do some shopping because they know that it's going to be a double crystal coming.
And we see Sweet Generous coming up to lane here. So I think this is going to be such an interesting game. Von C is on that Cruel, which is the late game scaling comp. We saw him having a very, very strong performance. Very strong performance on that Sky. And a not so strong performance on the Alpha.
Yeah, let's just sweep the Alpha under the rug. We didn't see
Alpha?
that one. That
What
didn't
Alpha?
happen. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he didn't play in that game at all. But like, this is all about the late game here. Scarf, we've said before, is very strong, and actually, I'm very surprised to see that there's not been a glaive picked out by either team so far.
It was kind of going through the motions. We obviously got to see the blind pick. Hammer's Kinetic, instant lock. They basically instant locked their comp. And now Von C, he did actually, I think, pick up that farm, but he's going to pay for it because the burn and bleed is going to be bringing him down for game one, or for kill one.
Yeah, and we're seeing the two of Nemesis Hydra in the lane. T-Tiger suffering a lot.
Yeah, the Spitfires are landing, and Toph actually going to be the one to take home the kill with that slam. Now here comes actually Sweet Generous, and that's just going to be it for Hardic because he did not have the health to survive through that one. Gabe Vizzle, though, despite the burn, is not going to be able to take down the River Troll. But still, I mean, like, the kills are fast and furious. 3 already in 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is such a stark difference to the games that we've seen before between the other teams. And Lost Boy Tough, he's going to sadly go down, giving another kill there for Gabe Vizzle, sitting at a very comfortable score of 3-0 and 0.
Gabe Vizzle making those plays, guys. Like, he is in carry role, and he is here to win. My goodness.
What to say, he is very comfortable in that jungle role. He has moved very well from roam into the jungle position.
What's up, Vonsi? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Sweet Generous is going to be joining here as well. Okay, well, we'll have to see how well those stacks work out for you. He will, I think, get this kill. Yeah, absolutely. But can he 1v3? I think it's a little early. But the Lost Boy Top's going to come down. He's going to try his best. And, well, all right, he just turns his back, and Vonsi will fall. But still, I mean, going for one trade with that 3-man, that's not so bad.
That really isn't so bad, but one thing I really want to point out right now is that Hardic is suffering a little bit in the lane. His creep score, 12 to T-Tiger's 24. A little bit of a difference, at 3 minutes, maybe it's not going to be such a big difference, but because it's a mirror match, I think it's really important about which Scarf will get the early advantage. And right now, I think T-Tigers is definitely the one in the lead right now.
Well, we'll have to see if that will be a trend that they continue on. Now it's the burn and burn here in lane. Fan the flames, and that's Gabe Vizzle fire. Oh man, Hardic and Lost Boy Top just losing half their health bars there. Now there's not going to be any kind of Kroll action yet. Von C is still a ways away, but as you can see, again, like, pressure is mounting. Kinetic is really going forward. Hardic is going to get jumped on. Sweet Generous. Well, fine. All right, they'll get the kill, but they do trade it out. But there goes Lost Boy Top. He just needs to be a little bit more mobile. And where was Kroll during all this? Well, with everybody in lane, he's off counter jumping.
Yeah, Cruel is just doing the right thing and trying to get as much creeps as possible. I just noticed this. It's that Halcyon Hammers, they've got 3 kind of slow damage over time. So they've got the burn coming from Scarf and Adagio, which deals damage over time. And you've got Sweet Generous's bleed from the Law of the Claw, which also, this is just such a slow torture composition.
The bleed and burn and burn.
Bleed and burn, bleed and burn. The double burn and the bleed.
It's there's no bed and breakfast here. It's all bleed and burn.
Maybe better than bed and breakfast, who knows. But
I don't think I would want to go to bed or breakfast with any of these characters. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Definitely
like,
not.
Von C showing up with a sword through his chest just ruins the mood. All right, he's going to throw out the Hell's Heart, and it does
Oh.
get on top of Sweet Generous, and Von C unfortunately cannot make anything happen with that block.
Onsi is such a aggressive jungler. We've seen this again and again, and I don't think necessarily he should be being so aggressive as a Crow. I guess he knew his teammates were going to come down to join him at any point, so I guess he was just trying to do as much damage as he could at that point. So I think that kind of worked out. But he's going to be going for quite an aggressive build. We're seeing him going for that Sorrow Blade, I think. He's already got the 6 Sins and the Weapon Blade already in his inventory.
Who was it? I think it was Team Penetrate that was actually showing us some more aggressive Crow rather than the tanky attack speed kind of builds. You build up a little bit of that weapon power, but this feels a lot like game number 1. Like, it's the same comp, and so far, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Kinetic has 6 kills on Gabe Bizzle. He has a 7 kill participation out of 7. Like, he, on this Adagio, at least with this comp, is just making everything happen, and everything is going right for Kinetic so far.
Yeah, they're 3k ahead in gold. Gabe Bizzle already has the alternating current and travel boost. He's got the mobility and he's got the attack speed that he needs to do well in the early game. He's definitely doing it well. Like you said, 6-1-1, that's absolutely insane. Von C, on the other hand, his jungle equivalent, 1-3-0, going for a lot of shield and a bit of weapon damage, but he's just really not holding up against Gabe Bizzle's Adagio.
And now we have an alternating current to go with Gabe Bizzle on top of it. So take some of that crystal power, add it to the auto attacks, and well, I'm just not entirely too sure that we're going to have an answer for that anytime soon. We might have to try to turtle this one out.
Yeah, just have them play a little bit more passively, head into the late game, which is where they will absolutely excel. Kinetic are looking so good right now. Tiger's already got that broken myth, so Gabe Bizzle not quite yet. He's gone for the Ultimate current already, but we can be sure that he will be going for that broken myth later on. And when they do, the shield, whatever shield that Nemesis try to do, really won't do much against the 2 broken myths on Kinetic's side.
Well, when you got that Pierce going, it's hard to justify stacking anything that really can go against that. Perhaps you just want to stack health. Let's just get all O cards. That's the new winning strategy here.
All the Okras, that's certainly been interesting to see. But look at the vision that Sweet Generous is laying out. Look at all the little red dots are all over the map. Orange dots are all over the map.
Yeah, it's a case of acne here on the fold.
Unfortunate acne. And Lost Boy Toff trying his best to settle the mine off. Set the mines off, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be caught up.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that was probably the best of moves, but I mean, if we ever just a little bit closer, might have been able to jump him. For now, Lost Boy Toff will come out with a, quote, win on that one. Popped out the mine, he lives right through. Did have to use his boots. Nope, I totally lied. He totally didn't have to use his boots. They do lose out their jungle though, so Kinetic is still really just trying to keep Nemesis Hydra there in that base. And if you look at Kroll's not having any of it. He's actually going to show himself by taking the minion mine.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why Kinetic put in so many mines, is that they know Von C is very aggressive, likes to invade, so they know exactly where he is, and they're not going to challenge the back camps or any of the camps. What they're going to do is just add lots of pressure onto Hardic and Lost Boy Toff, which they are doing very nicely. Scarf is a very nice counter to Lost Boy Toff on that Finn, and it's very difficult for him to avoid the Spitfires, and that is what we've been seeing in the lane so far. I
really have to wonder. I mean, Von C, he is off counter jungling, but little by little we're losing out these turrets, and guess what? Jungle spawns, respawn. That's the whole point of them. You keep farming them. These turrets do not. Like, this is irreparable damage at every turn that is going into the pockets of Kinetic, and especially with, well, I mean, we're still far away from the Kraken, but once she does come rolling, you got no turrets left standing. You're in a bad position. Yeah, and it's 8 minutes with a 5k gold leaf. Sweet Generous is going to catching Von C out there. A little bit, yeah. He's gonna be all right there and get away. We got 4 seconds until we can get that. Ooh, here we go. That's gonna be the Hell's Heart, and it hits nobody. Von C either just decided nope, or he just couldn't find that angle. That is a big tool. That's not gonna be part of this next team fight. And you can see Generous, like the burns, the bleeds, it's really starting to add up, and the jungle troll is just going down so very slowly. Yeah, and I feel like what we're seeing happening is Von C trying to pull off these really flashy from Hell's Heart, but they're just not working very well. And I think it's actually for the detriment of Nemesis Hydra in that they don't have that stun available to them because he's trying these very flashy plays. Well, they did get the T-Tiger's Dragon's Breath out, so I mean that's not going to be part of this next fight either. And unfortunately, the anchor just didn't really seem to have done its job either. Lost Boys Toff forced to court is down for another 20 seconds, so it's not good at all from Nemesis Hydra. This blind pick so far is just not working out for them. And an immense gold payout just goes uncontested to Kinetic on top of it. That's going to be a war horn for Sweet Generous.
Yeah, we're seeing a very aggressive team coming up from Kinetic. Very strong performance so far. We're not seeing much opportunities for Hydra to jump onto either Gay Bizzle or T Tigers. They've got that poke coming out from T Tigers and Gay Bizzle. And Gay Bizzle can heal. They've already got a fountain as well, and the Warhorn to maybe disengage if they need to. This is just a very, very commanding performance from Kinetic so far.
We have 400 gold here on top of Gabe Vizzle, and it looks like, most of those parts for that broken myth are now ready to go. If they get another team fight or just a little bit of extra farm, that's going to be a broken myth.
And all they have to do so far, it's at 10 minutes. All they might have to do is just hold out for that Kraken and just push with the Kraken, because they're really not getting out from the lane harass so far. Nemesis Hydra doing a good job of turtling, so maybe it's time to back away and maybe not apply so much pressure and just focus on controlling the jungle and then getting the Kraken when it spawns.
Well, that could definitely be one of the strategies. Now, in the game number 1, they actually were able to take the win in the 14-minute mark, and we are about to hit the 11. Game number 2 was just a little bit longer, 16 or so, and that was actually a suffered loss for Kinetic. So, they got to be feeling good about this one. Whatever reservations they had about their comp, they insta-locked in blind pick these 3 heroes. They have no mind, reservations about this comp, and they shouldn't after a performance like this. 7-3, and really you just can't leave even this choke area, it seems, for Nemesis Hydra. Like, the slow death could work out.
And I do like that they're leaving that minion mine so the minions aren't pushing too much, and they're kind of preventing Hardek from getting farm as well, because if they did get both minion mines, the minions would push up, leaving them very accessible for Hardek. And this way, this does guarantee T-Tigers his farm as well, and he is maintaining a very nice lead there of 15 creeps. Hardek.
Yeah, lead is the lead, right? And a win is a win. Doesn't matter if it was just barely or if you smashed him. Whoever wins this game by whatever method are the ones to move on to the semifinals tomorrow.
And the semifinals are already looking very, very promising. We've had such strong teams going through, and this is a game I think that is definitely in Kinetic's pocket here. They're just constantly poking away here. Bonsi really can't come out and even go on to anyone. He doesn't even have a Shiver Seal yet, which is kind of what we would expect from a Cruel at this point.
Maybe a Cruel that wasn't going into a Sora Blade.
And he's got the double shield as well, the Kinetic shield and the light shield. Not really going much in terms of defense so far. Very tanky, not very tanky, very aggressive. And I think that might be to his detriment.
And those double broken myths are ready to go. T-Tigers and Gabe Vizzle, I mean, that Pierce is going to be something fierce when it comes to this next team fight.
I think we're seeing Kinetic just going to be going for that gold mine over and over again when it's heating up. Just applying some little pressure there to Hydra in the lane occasionally, going back to the jungle, clearing the whole jungle, and this is why they're just increasing that lead now to over 9k at 12 minutes.
Eve of Harvest.
Tasty.
My first thought is Tasty Bacon when you say that. Shout out to Tasty Bacon. Awesome guy. Perhaps, maybe Tasty. So we have that Eve of Harvest. We did actually pick up, what did Sweet Generous pick up? He has now actually that Shiver Steel. So you were looking for it on Von C, but somehow the Wolf is the one to pick it up.
And he's got that Warhorn as well, just allowing him to stick a little bit more. And also, if Gabe Bizzle does get close enough to any of the heroes on Nemesis Hydra's side, he is going to be able to slow them down if he does manage to heal himself next to them.
Sora Blade. It is the Sora Blade. Von C is just saying YOLO. He's going to go for it right now. 13-minute Sora Blade. New meta.
What's the point of doing damage if you can't actually get to any of the Kinetic? Kinetic are just being very, very cruel right now. They're just constantly poking away. They're forcing Nemesis Hydra to stay at that choke point. Nemesis, they're just having to stick to the turtling, and that, the Kraken is coming out in a minute and less than 2 minutes.
I thought Nemesis Hydra had the Cruel.
Yeah, oh sorry, too confused there. My bad.
No, never mind. It's fine. Minion mine captured. I mean, like, we know where they are. Nemesis Hydra. As we go through pause, I think talk to Donjon. Donjon, you there? Oh, Donjon's not speaking to the stream. I thought he was gonna come join us. Oh, we're gonna throw it back to Roman Humanist. I know you guys love that,
All right, so we're having a little bit of an issue there. Quickly gonna turn this pause on, make sure nothing funky is happening out there on the fold. And
Nothing
one more
funky.
time, one more time, Roman, I get to kind of break down exactly what's going on. And how do you like the way this match is unfolding so far? Is it the way you would have thought?
Yeah, no, it looks like they're doing a really good job on the Kinetic side, just making sure that they starve their cool out. Like you see, like Von C right now, he doesn't have too much opportunity to build like the sword blade that he's been trying to build. He does have that early Kinetic shield, but we'll let them throw it back.
Yeah, all right. Well, as long as we're ready, we go ahead and hop right back into this game and continue with this action.
All right, so the pause is done. We're back. Von C is still patrolling that turret on the top of those minion mines. And there's another gold mine going down.
And Helga, it will be spawning in less than 20 seconds, which is exactly what Kinetic will be going for, I'm imagining, because they're really not pushing much from the lane so far. They're trying to apply as much pressure as they can. They're finally recognizing that they need to be getting the Kraken, so they are going to be taking that minion, finally, at last.
Minion mine captured. So a lot of pressure. Here comes Helga. 7 kills to 3 and 10,000 gold. This has really been a good set of few minutes for Kinetic.
Yeah, that is a 10.7 gold lead now. That is absolutely insane at 15 minutes, and Helga is now the beautiful creature that she is, and this is something that Kinetic will be going for. The Hydra do seem to recognize that this is a bit of a threat, so they are going to be venturing in, but this could be the fight that Kinetic are looking for.
Well, it's definitely not the fight Nemesis Hydra's looking for. Top, not even going to be part of this fight at this point. I mean, like, he can get off this fortified health, and then he's just going to die a very, very painful death. And at the same time, Hardek, he's now going to turn around. You got that Dragon's Breath, but it's really just not doing the damage it needs to. Von C, all that farming, all that counter, let all the turrets go down. And they can't even touch Kinetic at this point. Do we even need Helga? I mean, we got 15 seconds on Last Boy Top. Yeah, I mean, I would assume they're going to go for Helga because they're not rushing down these turrets whatsoever.
They're being,
but no,
they're being bold. They're going to be taking down the turrets, and those turrets are melting fast. That turret went out so fast. They're going to be backing away for this, though. Good choice. They're going to be going for Helga, I think, which we kind of considered before. Why aren't they going for Helga? So they knew the timing.
a Warhorn to Helga.
Just to get to Helga faster. Absolutely desperate to see Helga. And we're finally seeing the Kraken takedown that we've been waiting about 5 minutes for.
Oh my goodness, that capture rate is insane. Okay, well,
no
game
contest.
well played. Nemesis Hydra, unfortunately, just not going to be able to hold this whatsoever. They are down 13,000 gold in 16 minutes. Could not have been the best time of their lives over these last, almost 8 minutes, I want to say. It's been a long time since they were really able to be coming out of that base, but to be generous, leaves nothing to chance. He's going to be finding that they're not in this bush, but he will find that angle, and Hardek's the target, even if they get a wipe here. I think Helga's just going to end the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing the Hellshark coming out. I don't think it's not achieved too much here.
It did stun Sweet Generous, and then Last Boy Top died, and Hardek was soon to follow. So Von C will complete the ace. They go ridiculous, guys. The ridiculous 3, not to be confused by any terrible Adam Sandler movies, but the 13-3 score and so much money. With Helga coming down, that is going to be a good game, well played, and Kinetic will move on with their sister team, Velocity, to tomorrow's semifinal.
And that was probably the most unusual set of games that we have seen so far tonight. So the first game was very one-sided, the second game was also very one-sided, and this game was also very one-sided. So what a surprise there.
C, 2,500 gold. In 17 minutes. I think that is the newest low I've ever seen.
Yeah, the counter invades that he was trying to pull off during that game did not work out very well. He was still suffering a lot, not getting the farm he needed, and he was causing his teammates to suffer. We were saying before, we've seen Von C rushing into Kinetic's jungle, but the whole time, T-Tiger, Sweet Generous, and Gavis are just pushing ahead, taking out turrets slowly but surely.
Something to be said about these double crystal comps, especially with those broken myth stacks. Like, the Pierce is just absolutely ridiculous. But that is going to be it here for the Vainglory League Spring Championships. I mean,